My name is Vicki Nevis and I'm 60 years old. When I was a little girl, I was a tomboy. I always played with the boys. I was climbing trees and getting in fights and whatever the guys did when we played football out in the street, till my mother called me for dinner. When I was 9, I started on the mini bikes. My dad started me on mini bikes, and then he had a motorcycle, and I used to ride on the back with him all the time. I just love riding bikes. It's something I've been doing all my life, really, since I was a little kid. And I remember my dad used to take me at the estuary in Oakland. They used to have drag boat races, and he would watch the boat races all day, and I would ride the mini bike in the parking lot all day. And it was just fun seeing my dad every other weekend. But he'd always have something lined out for us to motorcycles or going fishing or, doing all that kind of stuff. So I think, I was Daddy's little tomboy girl. And he just taught me a lot of things that was useful in the life I chose to live as I was older. When I was growing up, I thought about being a nurse. I liked helping people, and I had a job actually when I was 16 years old, taking care of a man that was in a wheelchair, and that's how I sort of saw myself being. I think the reason I changed the direction of what I wanted to do for work was because I had got involved with drugs, and that took me in a whole different crazy direction. And of course, when you mess around with drugs, you usually get in trouble with the law, and there's no way I could be a nurse with having a record as I do. Now, this was 28 years ago. Since all that kind of stuff, I've been clean and sober around 28 years, but that made it made me have to get a job that I had to be okay to be a felon, and since I had felonies, I couldn't get any kind of job, and if I could, it would be minimum wage, and that wouldn't be enough to suffice to raise my daughter and to take care of myself. So once I got clean and sober, I got into the carpenters union because I had taken carpentry and wood shop in high school, so I was very familiar with it. And it's the one job that you do in the union anyway. You don't have to fill out a resume. You just put your name on the out of work list, and they don't ever ask you if you have felonies, and they don't care. And they pay very, very well. As far as, without a university degree, you don't really find too many jobs where you make $30 an hour. So that was able to, after I had gotten clean and sober and I was trying to do everything right, I had to start from the bottom up, from just having a car and the clothes on my back and the clothes on my daughter's back, to trying to, go up and raise my daughter the way I wanted to. And I needed to making money legally. Didn't want to make any money illegally, because I did not want that chance to go back, to be locked up. So it was, I just stayed in construction, and there's not that many. Usually women are obsolete on a job. All the jobs I was on, all the bridges I built around San Francisco, all those bridges that fell down in 88, 89 earthquake, I rebuilt all those in the San Francisco, going to and from San Francisco, the bridges and highways. And there'd always be about 150 men and one woman. I'd be the one woman. So it was tough. I had to work hard. I had to double do everything because they were already looking at me to, you know, thinking I would be a failure or couldn't handle the weight. So I kind of held my own. And after I'd work every job, it'd be about 2 weeks it would take to work the job till they were like, you know, not on my back and knew I could do the job without having to lean on them. I would say with my granddaughter, I'm not as hard on her as I was with my daughter. She has me wrapped around her little finger. I taught her how to say that when she was little. I got grandma wrapped around my finger. And she does. I think being a grandma has most definitely softened me up. I mean, my daughter did a lot, especially after I got clean and sober, coming full circle around to the baby again, my granddaughter. You know, all the mistakes or whatever happened with my daughter, now I have a chance to, you know, the second time go around, know basically some mistakes I made and not to have to repeat those mistakes. And you know, everything's about my daughter and my granddaughter. I mean, I eat, breathe, and sleep my daughter and my granddaughter. I like to make sure all their needs are met and they're happy. I've just learned by my mistakes so heavily. And I like being a grandma. I love it when she says grandma. It's great. Let's go.
Grandma, faster, faster.
All right.